All right, so I watched The Lord of the Ring, The War of the Rohirrim. Uh, caveat, caveat time. I have never watched the Peter Jackson movies, not The Hobbit, nor the original trilogy. Um, I have seen the first season of The Rings of Power, and I watched like the first two episodes of season two, and then I was just kind of like, I don't care about the Lord of the Rings, so I just kind of stopped watching it. I don't know, maybe I'll get back to it one day. But I saw this was coming out, and I saw that it was like a prequel to the original movies. So I was like, I'll check it out. Why not? And by the way, yeah, like after watching the movie, I'm like, you know what? I need to stop being weird about all of this. I need to just sit down. I need to allot like 85 hours so that I can watch the Hobbit movies and the Lord of the Rings so that I can be cultured. But yeah, so that's just like the perspective that I'm coming at this from. I'm not coming at it from like a hardcore Tolkien fan, okay? Not coming at it from like a hardcore Peter Jackson fan. Just kind of mostly just coming at it from a guy that doesn't really care about Lord of the Rings and just went to watch it as a movie. And from that perspective, I really enjoyed it. I mean, first of all, it's just like a 2D animated movie, which is like inherently inherently just like appealing to me because we don't get a ton of those from like Western studios anymore. Like they just don't really make them, or theatrically at least. Um, and on that front, the animation is good. Like the art direction I think is strong all the way throughout, but there definitely is some like choppiness in some of the like movements and whatnot. Um, and I think that actually is in large part due to the fact that this is essentially a movie that is born out of Warner Brothers just needing to uh, maintain the license for Lord of the Rings. Like apparently, like if they didn't get a movie out this year, they would lose the license for the Lord of the Rings IP. So they were just like, anime studio, can you just make a Lord of the Rings movie real quick? And they were like, sure, we'll get it out. And so honestly, not exactly like the best, I think, way that art should be made, but to be honest with you, it's pretty good. I think it actually turned out rather well. So as far as what the movie's about, it's about like I think what are they? The Helm family, I think. So you have King Helmhammer, Hamfist, Hammer Time, whatever his name was. Can I be honest actually about something else? Whenever I'm watching like fantasy slop, names of people and locations, they come in one ear and right out the other. Okay, so you have to bear with me here. Okay, so you got the Helm family or whatever. You got King Helm Hammer Time, his brother or his son Squiggly Dop, his other son Hobbledy and then you have his daughter Hera. Hera's like she's the main character of the story, I would say. Um, and I really like the characters. Or I really like this family. Like all like the dad is like super badass. The brothers I think are cool, and I really like Hera as a protagonist. Her name is Hera, right? Yeah, it is. I was like, am I forgetting again? um, but yeah, now so I'm going to describe what happens in the trailer. It's not a spoiler, but basically there's this guy. He's like one of the rulers of one of the sections of the kingdom or whatever. He's like, hey, king, you suck. Your daughter needs to marry my son. And then the dad is like, no, you will not. You will not order me around. My daughter is not gonna marry your stupid kid. And so he's like, I challenge you to a duel. And then he just like knocks out this guy in like one punch. It was pretty badass. Like again, the king is a really cool character. And then the guy's son is like, you will rue this day. You'll rue it. You know, like Neville and iCarly. And rue it indeed, because that essentially then leads into the War of the Rohirrim. And yeah, it's basically a war movie. And with that comes like action, which I think is well done. Like there's like sword fights, and you got like big creatures showing up and doing things. I showed you the fucking where is it? There's a big giant hawk thing. You got like big war scenes, and it's all well done. I think it's all pretty to look at. And yeah, as far as the story goes, yeah, I super enjoyed it. It's basically about like war and tragedy and loss and grief and whatnot. And I think all those themes are handled pretty well. And I like the fact that it focuses on Hera, because she's not like, obviously she's not like your traditional like wartime character. And with her being like a woman, and with her not necessarily being a soldier, it's able to sort of like explore that through her perspective, which I thought was pretty interesting. And yeah, so I enjoyed it. I recommend it. Now obviously other people are going to be looking at the movie from the perspective of being a Lord of the Rings fan, and I don't necessarily know like how it fares from like the perspective of canon and whatnot. Like I can't sit here and be like, well, this it actually contradicts the Lord of the Rings, Gandalf's anus, or blah blah blah. The Helm Hammer time. He was actually supposed to do this and that. I can't do that. I don't know. So I don't know if people are upset about it for like those reasons. I have no idea. Although I will say, like, when I was watching the movie, because I have heard of Helm's Deep. Like, I've definitely heard of that place, and there is a point in the movie where they're like, and this is now called Helm's Deep. And I was like, I never made that connection. There are also like other moments in the movie where it's like, we're referencing the other movies. Which is like, it's like, okay, like honestly, those are probably like a little clunky when they're referencing other things. They're like, we're here, look, this guy's here. You know him from this movie. Those are probably the more clunkier scenes. But yeah, I don't know. I'd definitely be interested to hear from the perspective of Lord of the Rings fans, to see what they think of it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm also just like kind of bummed out because the movie's not doing well at all. Like it bombed at the box office, and it has like a really low critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. Although it seems like there aren't many of you. There aren't many of us. Okay, we are part of an elite few. But I'll actually just pull it up. As of right now, it is sitting at a 49% critic score, but an 84% audience score. So it seems like people that are actually watching the movie are enjoying it. I don't know what the critics are. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the critics. What's your problem, man? What's your problem, bro? I don't know. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Although, actually, just to cope a little more, I will note, I feel like Warner Brothers has not been marketing this at all. Like, I do literally think that they just made this movie and shit it out in order to keep the license. Because I feel like they just haven't been marketing it. They haven't been treating it like a big tentpole movie. And in their defense, and in the films, like the one upside is that it was very cheap. They did not spend a ton of money on it. Like they spent like $30 million. So it's honestly feasible that it ends up making its money back. We'll see. But either way, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.